Hello, welcome to our Dream to Rise podcast. This is our sixth episode for season 2, and I'm so honored and privileged to have a guest speaker who currently works with Aloha Spinal Flow, who uses a technique that is designed to enhance your body's natural healing ability. Oh, this is kind of interesting, something different, because the technique works by removing blockages on your spinal cord. I have a problem with my spinal cord. I'm sure I'll be able to get a lot of information, and which I think would be valuable in terms of what I'm experiencing right now. Well, her passion is to heal the heart and empower others on your healing journey to sovereignty. She's single and lives in Mullumbimby, Australia. I hope I got it right. Mullumbimby.
You
Yes.
did.
Yeah, thank you. So without further ado, let's welcome our special guest, Naomi Gobits. I hope I got it correctly.
You did. Good morning and
Naomi
welcome.
Gobits.
Yes.
Okay. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me. I feel honored and blessed.
Oh, it's a pleasure, and that's always my message, no, to share or inspire other people who are always stuck and who actually are unable to really move forward. So your story would be a great way to inspire and empower people. And hopefully, I'm sure a lot of people will find value in this one. That's why I got you, and I'm thankful that you oblige, you agreed to share your story with us.
Happy to be of service. Beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. So let's get started. So can you tell us something about yourself that brought you to where you are right now? May I ask you to share your story, because I know your story will be very impactful to the listeners.
For sure. Look, I've been through a lot of trauma myself as a child, growing up in a household that wasn't so peaceful. So there was a lot of yelling and screaming. There was a lot of times where you don't feel safe at home. And for me, I grew up with, it was just part of my life, a lot of trauma, including the death of my sister, who passed 17 years ago of a brain tumor. Now, for me, being a young child and looking up to my sister, putting her on a pedestal, I couldn't cope with the fact that she was going. And so I could see that there was the pain, then there was the disconnection, then there was the avoidance of her when she passed. Then there was this sense of anger, frustration, and disbelief on a rotational, like a spiral within myself of trying to run away from my pain. And so I just fell straight into work. I was a massage therapist at the time. I had been for 25 years working at different 5-star day spas, and I was doing 25 massages a week. And I pushed myself to exhaustion because I just wanted to keep moving, keep pushing, so I would not need to sit down and feel the pain. Now, she was my confidant, and for someone to have such a close connection with her and for her to go, I went into a downward spiral of depression and eating and overeating, and and I got to a point where I actually hit rock bottom, and I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't know why I'm here now. My best friend, my closest friend is gone, and I don't know what to do. So in that choice, I decided to stay. I decided to support myself. And then I could start to see and sense something in me that I had hit rock bottom, and the only way was up.
Yeah. So may I ask, when was that situation wherein you told yourself enough is enough, I have to go up?
A good 2 years, even more, even almost 5 years. I had kept running and kept cycling.
So you were in your rock bottom for 5 years?
Yeah.
Oh
I had
my.
depression. At home, I was like, at work, I was like, yeah, I'm all fine. Yeah, let's do massage at home. I come home and isolate myself, cry, eat, and to a point where I just said, okay, this has to shift. This has to change, because I cannot keep doing this. So I went to see a counselor.
Was there a point wherein your health got impacted? That's why you're unable to move
Yes,
forward?
I actually had adrenal fatigue, and I had adrenal fatigue. So I stopped work for 1 year.
Oh.
I remember exactly the time I was at work. I was working at a place called the Gaia Retreat, where Olivia Newton-John had a beautiful day spa. And I remember standing there just going, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep giving. I need to stop and give to myself. And so I went to see my doctor. My doctor was like, you're exhausted. You are beyond exhausted. You need to stop. So I took a year off work and started seeking alternate modalities for myself, which was counseling, kinesiology, acupuncture, and massage on rotation. So once every fortnight, I would have acupuncture, massage, just to keep the energy moving in my body, to go and see a counselor for my mind and something for my body. So I was taking care of my mind, my body, and my soul, basically. So what I saw was, the more that I supported myself, the more I started to feel more full, and the more that I could see how far I had neglected myself. So I decided to see this opportunity with my sister as a gift. I had also been through emotional abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse. I'd also been through being slapped as a child, living with parents that were in the war, so all they knew was smack the child and tell her to shut up. So there was quite a bit of domestic violence as well. Not a lot, but enough. I'd also been through many things as a child. I was also a premature child, so I had a lot of illnesses. Then I had measles, I had German measles, I had eczema. So I just kept unraveling, I call myself, to the point of self-love, not self-destruction. And each time we have a choice. Are we in self-destruction, or are we in self-love? And I kept going to the self-love. Am I in a downward spiral, or am I supporting myself? That is the conscious aspect of me, or the unconscious aspect of me. The unconscious wants to spiral down. The conscious is going to support me. So I kept supporting myself. And I started to feel more whole. I started to see the gifts within myself. My health was better. I said no to things. I was a very, people pleaser. Oh, yeah, sure. So I stopped and I said, actually, no, I don't feel like doing that today. It felt strange, but it felt great. And I practiced that more often, because we're here for ourselves first. And a lot of people don't put themselves first. They put everyone else first, including mothers, And sometimes we have to stop. And if we're tired, we need to check in and just say, right now, I just need to be with myself, not overstretch ourselves. So I started to get better and better. And gosh, within about that year, I was, what I thought, back to balance. And I went back to work and continued to massage. And less I started to feel every year. January 28th is where my sister passed. I remember her very well the last time I saw her, and that was in my, it was at the hospital. And I do remember her before she passed.
She had cancer or what?
She had a brain tumor at the back of what's called the cerebellum. And the cerebellum is at the back of the spinal column. So it's a very hard position to operate on. And I distinctly remember her getting out of bed and going, I need a wash. And I looked at her and I said, you're going, aren't you? And she said, yep, finally. And I said, okay. So my heart sank, but I said goodbye to her. And even to this day, I don't like saying goodbye. And I knew, yeah, that would be the last time. And I went home that night and sat on the couch and I could hear her. It's called clairaudient. And she said, what do I do when I see the white light? And I said, go. And then she died that night. So,
oh my.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I could feel that.
Yeah.
Hard.
It's no matter how many times you say it, there's never a time where it's all finished. There's always another layer to feel, you know, there's always more to learn. There's always more to accept and understand that you have to befriend the pain and the sadness.
Was it hard for you to let go of what happened to her?
Absolutely. That was my biggest lesson. I wanted to help her. I wanted to save her. I wanted to rescue her. I wanted to be the healer that saved her. But it wasn't up to me. That was my ego. I wanted her to live longer. And she's like, please let me go.
Yeah.
Like, okay. But in my head, I'm still I could have, you know, I could have done this and I could have done that. But
so
it wasn't
there's this guilt feeling within you.
Yeah. And I had to go through my guilt, through it, to understand that it's not up to me. It's not up to anyone's money. It's not up to God. It's not up to the man that worked on my sister, not up to the doctor. And I blamed all of them, believe me. Tried to find someone to blame. It's not about them either. It's just about me.
Yeah.
And so it was such a gift. I started to see this opening in myself and this understanding rather than me fighting myself, and accepting that there's a bigger place and, you know, she's up there doing what she's doing and it's okay. I still hear her and I don't need to keep, you know, connecting to her. I need to be myself. And that's what I stepped into, me.
So that means you have forgiven yourself already.
Absolutely.
Oh, good.
Absolutely. There's a Hawaiian saying, it's called ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I thank you, I love you.
I like that. How do you say that again in Hawaii?
Ho'oponopono.
Ho'oponopono. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Ho, H-O, little dash, O, another dash, P-O-N-O, P-O-N-O. You can look it up. It's a Hawaiian blessing. And you feel into your heart and you feel into the person you want to forgive. And you visualize them opposite you. And you say to them, I'm sorry, please forgive me. I thank you. I love you. Keep rotating this feeling and your heart starts to separate from their heart energetically and you come to a place of peace. Now she even says to me, I feel guilty for going. you know,
really?
And I'm like, yeah.
Well, because they were very close, no? That's the reason.
We were 3 years apart and everyone that saw us looked at me and said, are you the older one? And I was like, no, she's the older one. She's the silly one. And before she left, she said to me, live life to the fullest and always remember your dreams. So I haven't lived my life to the fullest. I've just worked a lot and I will live my life to the fullest and I will travel. But yeah, I want to follow my dreams. I want to get this message out there that there is empowerment and there is sovereignty and there is self-love And putting yourself first is so important to find peace in every situation. It's taken me 17 years to come to peace and acceptance, because I came to a place of, you know what, I can't bring her back. That's not my job. She left, and that's okay. So I needed to come into my own feelings of feeling abandonment and heal that in myself. She didn't leave me. She had to go for other things. I call it to do other work upstairs. So I accept that she has gone. And it's about me now. Okay. It's not about putting anyone on a pedestal. Okay. It's about, corny as it says, that says, find the light at the end of the tunnel. And I found the light, and that was me.
You mentioned a while ago about you have experienced other traumas like domestic violence and so on, even sexual abuse, emotional abuse. Are you now free? Have you forgiven them? Have you forgiven yourself?
I still experience this with my mother a little bit. Has been another journey in itself. So that's a never-ending journey too. And I still keep honoring with her. We have days, but she's challenging. But I don't want to leave her either. She's had her daughter leave. My dad left 2 years after my sister died. He had an affair with my mother. So, I don't want to be another person that will leave her.
So she lives by herself now?
She lives by herself now.
And how far is she from your place?
10 hours.
Oh, 10 hours. So it's kind of far.
Yeah, we talk every week. We text, but it's tricky.
Well, I truly understand, especially adjusting to the older generation with so much. Actually, that was my topic a while ago with fixed mindset. That was my topic in my live video. And even my mom, she's really stubborn in terms of we would just follow what she wants, and she wouldn't listen. But how are you able to, because me, it takes so much of my energy also, and our time really, well, we need to be there to understand, to be patient. But sometimes we get to a point that, oh my, I'm also exhausted. It drains us out, no?
Yeah.
What do you do in terms of how to overcome this exhaustion to help you?
I protect my energy. I know it sounds terrible, but I visualize before I speak to my mum that I'm encased in gold. Unfortunately, being a fixed star sign or a fixed sign, it is called the narcissist and the empath. The empath is the one that doesn't feel, and if you feel sorry for them, that's when your energy goes. If you feel, what's the word? Empathic, like you empathize, therefore you're just holding yourself in your energy, and you don't allow to unconsciously give their energy to you, because they want negative attention. That's how they grew up, and they want they feel emotionally blocked, and you're like, what about this, what about that, this is so cool, and they're like, nope, and you feel shut down all the time. So I just observe it like it's a game. And I just observe it without going, this is what's happening, that's what's happening. When I attach my mind to what's happening energetically, then it happens. And if I just observe it and even expand my energy and know that, and hold my energy and ground myself, that I don't need to give her my energy, because then she expects it. Oh, she's here. Oh, she'll give my, and I'm like, but you don't need my energy. Even I said that. She's like, oh, your hocus pocus stuff, Which is funny, but that's the way she is. And I needed to accept that. She doesn't want to change. So I'm like, okay, well, you'll see less of me then.
So you told her that you'll see less of me, because I was wondering, because if it's hard to change, it's you cannot change a person, especially if they're old, no? But do you think that we are able to manage that situation? Do you think you
just
can accept?
accept everything in them is some part of you in your shadow as well. We have an aspect of us that's love and light and happy, and we also have an aspect of us that's the shadow. And yes, I've been stubborn. Yes, I have been, because then you're embracing all of you. Yes, I can be stubborn, I can be resistive, and then all those bits that you're not accepting, you're accepting, because she's just not going to change. So I have to bring my energy back to me and take care of my energy and just laugh at her. She's so funny.
Yeah. How do you get that energy? Do you go and exercise? Do you hang out with friends? Do you do meditation?
I literally ground myself on the earth and on the grass.
Okay.
And I ask God, my higher self, to fill my cup with love. And I just, when I'm around my mum, I just visualize white light around myself. Because the more that she's doing this, then we end up creating that. And I did that too. And then I ended up like this, going, I'm exhausted. It's like this power play,
Yes.
And they like to have this emotional intensity. And they talk like this, and you're like, so I breathe. I stay grounded and I smile. And I don't allow the game. I just watch it because it's like this, and we're complete opposites. And so again, she's been my biggest teacher to just keep detaching and finding what, I mean, even if I try and say, what about this? Fill your cup. Say all these beautiful words about yourself, and she's like, and I wrote an email even just lovingly, hey, I'm reading this, and of course she's like, what'd you get that from a doctor? So
So it seems like everything that you suggest is not right or something. There's always a reason behind it, no? Why she would reject.
Yeah, that's her fear. It's her rejection. It's her rejecting herself.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
well.
So with all the traumas you've experienced, now you are working for this company, and then what do you do? So you're like a coach as well or something like that?
That would be further down the track. Yeah, I have a lot of wisdom to share, and I work with each individual where they're at. And a lot of things that I've gone through, I will attract a client that has exactly the same.
The same journey which you've experienced.
Exactly. So I've embodied it, and there are still layers. I'm not ascended in God, but there is still information that I can help others with to empower them, to say, hey, I've gone through this. This is what I went through. This is really cool. May I share? Are you open? And then I just allow them to see, that, you're thinking this way. What about this way? Oh, okay, that's a good idea. Oh, you're focusing on that. What about this? So then they go home and go, oh, okay, I did that. And they start to shift in their own life. I have this positive outset, and my family has a negative outset. I'm like, I'm moving up north. I'm like, they say, what happens if you hate it? I said, what happens if I love it? What happens if you meet no one? I said, what happens if I meet a whole new group of friends? So it's just your choice. And that's the way I manifest. I manifest with a positive outcome. Yes, there is reality. Yes, I have been to Hawaii during the volcano 5 years ago. I did. And, it was a big journey, but I learned to let go, and I learned to be quick with finding accommodation. And I actually had I had booked my accommodation in Hawaii, in Hilo, under a volcano.
Oh my.
So, life isn't always pretty and happy, but life is life.
Yeah,
But
it's a learning experience, learning process. And I think there's always a reason why we experience such things, because it strengthens us, no? It makes us learn something new, and it really pushes us to really take risk for us to really move forward.
yeah,
So, uh-huh.
it teaches us who we are, what
Mm-hmm.
choices we make within our mind, because our
Yeah.
mind is very strong,
Mm-hmm.
and we choose love or we
Yes.
choose fear.
Yes.
Fear is sticky.
Mm-hmm.
Fear, you can call it a color, which is blue.
Uh-huh.
Anger is red. But then we don't attach a story. It's like, oh wow, anger's red.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that story and this. Otherwise, you're totally processing and constantly reliving all the traumas that you've gone through, and you don't have to.
Mm-hmm.
You can even
But
say that used to affect me, but it doesn't anymore.
yeah, now you can change the story, no?
And
That's
it's
the way.
it's a gift when you're young and you're not taught boundaries, or you're not taught what's right or what's wrong, or you're told to put up with things that you're not meant to. Then you learn love.
Yes.
When you've been put down as a child, you learn that that's not okay, and you learn to stand up for yourself. So each thing is an opposite. I was very disempowered as a child, and now I'm empowered, and I love to empower others. I love to see them change and grow.
So, see, what we lack when we were a child, that's what we give now. I love that. I love that. Oh my, oh my. So, what are you focusing nowadays in your life in terms of manifestation? I know you are now helping other people, but in terms of yourself now, have you? I know you're still in the process. You're still trying to get along well with your mom and so on. And what how,
I'm
are you focusing now in terms of improving your relationship with your mom?
Absolutely, that's been the biggest thing, because I think I love her.
Uh-huh.
I do. I have a deep love, but I want peace in our friendship. And she's not my mum anymore to tell me what to do.
Uh-huh.
And I'm 51. I don't.
Yes. Uh-huh. Actually, I have experienced that also with my mom. We're in, Mom, I already have a family. I feel like I'm still a child. I think parents are like that. I don't know.
And I think it's the war babies, because they haven't, gone through their trauma. So they just focus, elsewhere. And it's like, well, just focus on you. I'm great. I
Mm-hmm.
love you, and we're great, and we'll get along. But we're both quite, she goes rah, and then I go and then I go rah, and that doesn't help either. So I have to
Yes.
learn to just don't
So
don't
what
poke
do
the
you do when you experience that? Do you just leave for a while? To
I say don't poke the bear.
yeah.
I breathe. It's like,
Uh-huh, yes. Uh-huh.
oh, okay. I
And
go
then
for a walk.
and then probably you could invite her to come. Let's both breathe, do some breathing exercise.
Oh,
That
she doesn't.
would help.
Don't tell me what to do. So it's very
Oh, you could
tricky.
help me how to breathe.
Breathe in 6, breathe out 4.
Yeah.
You smile. Because then by your grounding yourself, you're not exiting your body,
Uh-huh.
and you're just grounding. And then you say, wow, this is interesting. So when you say this is interesting, it's like your body and your mind lets go of the situation. It's a hypnotherapist remedy. And you
Mhm.
just say, this is interesting.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
as you do, your body just lets go, because you come into this, she's going to say something, and you get this fear. And then she says something, and you go, oh, there we go. And then you let it go. And I go, oh, this is interesting. All right, just remember, just observe. Don't poke the bear.
See,
You know,
just
that's it.
don't react. Don't react.
Don't react.
Yes.
They love the reaction. Because
Yes.
once they have the reaction, they feel satisfied, which is sad.
Yes.
So I look up on YouTube, narcissist, empath, and I think, oh, okay, just ignore it. Ignore it. It's not. They wish that they could do. I wish they could change, because that's exhausting in itself. And if they don't choose to change, then you just keep changing in yourself. You self-soothe. Okay, I love myself. I'm okay. I'll just sit here. Oh, well, that's how she is. Wow, isn't she funny? You have a real sense of humor, you know. Wow, this
See,
is
that's the thing. Because I was about to ask you, do you have any success with manifestation yet? And I could see that this is this is already what you're doing are ways and means to help you really be how would you call that? Attuned to yourself rather than be impacted by her attitude, no? Or else, if you're impacted by her attitude and you will react, then more conflict would arise.
exactly. So that's what I mean by the game. It's an
Yes.
energetic dance.
Yes.
So in this lifetime, she's teaching you to detach. She's teaching you to not react. She's teaching you to stay in your peace, unshakable peace.
Yeah.
And to me, I just literally in my head, I just go detach, detach.
Okay.
That's just detach, and then I'll go. I'm just going to make a cup of tea, or step away from the situation, step away from.
Because you need to get that energy back.
Exactly.
Or else you'll be exhausted. You'll be drained.
And it's literally connecting your head to your own heart. And in Hawaiian, when I did lomi lomi massage, and we used to place a hand on our heart and visualize a circle of more energy coming back and connecting back to your heart again. And then you're connected to your own energy first. You're not exiting, you're not because they can trigger you once you're in their game. They can, and you're like, oh, and you become what's called destabilized.
Yes.
Energetically, and they like that too. And then you're like, in your head, like, I just want a normal person.
Because they want somebody to be with them. They like them.
I feel lonely. I'm like,
Yes.
okay, do something about it. Go out and meet people. No, I don't want to meet people. I'm like, go out and do something. I don't want to meet people. I'm like, So we go around in circles, and I'm like, and this is another fun game, isn't it?
But that's what I like. You just add humor, and then
I have to be sane.
Yes, yes.
I know. It's like, well, this is a boring game. And you have to call it as it is. My background's Dutch Hungarian, and they're very honest, And I'm like, this is a boring game. And she's like, she gets caught, And I'm like, oh, let's have a tea, or let's go shopping, find a bridge, find a bridge that she can go and detach from the. Yes. And I go, let's go shopping. We're good at that. Go out somewhere.
Okay, yes, I agree with you. Now, I would like to ask, what is your goal for the next 12 months?
Gosh. First is to move out of Mullen and to live a little bit closer to a city. Yeah. I've been here for 17 years. And I feel it's time to move to a different area. So that's one. I want to set up an online course.
Online course, okay.
To help coach people back to sovereignty and help them with energetic dysfunctions. Because that's really what it is, an energetic dysfunction.
Energetic dysfunction.
That's how we're learning to be unaffected. And also, too, if you visualize yourself and you visualize white light in front of you, white light, and visualize it expanding and expanding and expanding in front and the back. and expanding and expanding, then you don't feel affected. So when you see your mum or anyone, just expand your light. Mm-hmm. And their negativity doesn't affect you. Mm-hmm. And expand it louder, and they probably get louder, and you just smile and expand your light more. And then you're focusing on expanding your light, not now I feel drained.
Yeah.
When you say now I feel drained, then the universe matches that, being a mirror. And then you go, see, now I feel yeah. But take care of yourself and support yourself and just expand your light. Yes. And then go, wow, that's just mum being mum. Oh, that's sad. Compassion.
Okay.
So
that's it. The move closer to the city online course and
focus on my health. I'm still
focus.
I got diabetes 2 years ago, and I am taking care of my health and my body, and I'd like to lose, at least 30 kilos, 40 kilos. And so I'm focusing on that. That's also my number one goal. Meet a beautiful partner. Be nice when I move, of the lady type. And what else? I have
in 12 months, In 12 months, this is all your target. Okay.
And every day for me, there's a goal of a goal for me is writing it down, write down my goal, feeling the goal that I've already done it, the outcome. So for me, it's exercising 3 days a week, half an hour a day. That's my goal. And so I do this, and I set my commitment to it. I set my goal to it, and I do it. And I feel empowered. What else? 12 months. And continue. I've got a hypnotherapy course I'm doing, and I'll be doing an NLP course as well. They're both, one's a 3-day course, one's a 7-day course, and that'll add more things on my tool belt. So then I can work with the body, the energetics, and the mental.
So are you seeing yourself to be a business entrepreneur, not anymore really connected to the company you're working for?
It's not a company, it's my own business.
That's your business.
Yeah.
I see.
Aloha healing for me is aloha is heart. And for me, when I went through my trauma, a lot of it was from heartache. I, came back to, it's not completely finished, but to really heal my heart and to come back into loving again, not being afraid of love.
Yes.
And knowing what's love and what is not love, what is abuse. Because an abuser will tell you, just put up with it. And as a child, you're like, okay. And as an adult, you're like, no, that's not okay. So that's when you find boundaries.
And that's how you value yourself. Yeah.
And you find your voice.
Yeah. So what do you think is your main roadblock in achieving your goals? Procrastination.
Or getting too mixed up in my own emotional stuff, too emotional. Probably procrastination is the worst one.
So what will you be? So that could be part of your objective as well, your goal, how to work on your procrastination. Why do you think you're experiencing procrastination? Why are you having this as a problem?
Probably fear of failure or fear of success, fear of being seen, which I'm overcoming now. Being on this, see, I'm being seen.
Okay, and so the fear of failure. But what have you done now to overcome this? You haven't done anything yet.
I write notes. I give myself goals. I give myself a timeline. And those timelines I stick to. And stay focused in my goals.
Okay.
And find fun in it as well. You have to find fun. Work doesn't need to be a chore. As when I was massaging, I used to call it play. I'm going to play. There's like, I'll go to work, you know. I was like, oh, I'm going to play. I loved it, but my hands didn't after a while. But you know, it's a choice how you see life, and if you connect to joy and you connect to fun, then that's when you connect to abundance.
Yes. And just be grateful with what you have.
Always, even the tricky ones.
So, Naomi, would you like, before we end, I would just like to, I thank you so much for being vulnerable, for sharing your story. I know it was so hard with all those traumas which you have experienced. And I'm glad that you're now opening and sharing your story, because that's one way of being free. And I've experienced that as well. And the moment I've shared my story, I told myself, now I'm free. Because there was a time a person told me, not sharing your story to others is being selfish. So they also need the help of those who have gone through the journey. And that's why we are doing this. And we are having our Dream to Rise anthology book, you being part of this anthology book. And I'm so excited that 30 authors will be joining in this anthology book. So I'm hoping to get more of those who have gone through their traumas, who were able to rise up and evolve, and now progressing, will be able to share and then spread that message to others that, hey, there's truly a light at the end of the tunnel. Don't get stuck, because life is great. You live your life to the fullest.
Life is a gift.
Yes, life is a gift, and we should treasure it. And we only have very limited time left. So make use of that time.
Exactly. And thank you so much. It's been an honor speaking with you today and sharing my story.
Oh, it's a pleasure. But before anything else, would you like to give a simple advice to our listeners?
Never give up on yourself. Always find the gift in everything.
Yes.
There is never a need to be in self-pity, but a choice to be in self-love and empowerment.
Very powerful. Thank you so much, Naomi. Would you like to share how they could get in touch with you if they need your assistance, your help?
Absolutely. They can get through me on Facebook with Aloha Spinal Flow. And I have working on a website as well. I don't have one right now, but I'm also on Facebook on Naomi Gobits.
How about your email address if they need to?
It's Naomi Gobits, GOBITS @gmail.com.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay.
Also on Instagram as well.
Instagram. Do you have an account in LinkedIn?
It is Aloha Healing 8.
Aloha Healing.
Aloha Spinal Flow 8. Sorry, my mistake. I just changed it.
Aloha Spinal Flow.
Flow 8.
Flow. And Instagram is?
Sorry, Aloha Spinal Flow 8, capital A.
Okay. So LinkedIn and Instagram are the same. Okay. So thank you so much, Naomi. And I wish you all the best. And especially our Dream to Rise anthology book. I'm so
excited. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And thank you again to our listeners. And till next episode, we're here again to share our message, and that is to help you become the better version of yourselves. And that's our main mission. Okay, thank you and have a good night. Bye.